Hopefully I can answer it.
There is a perception that multicultural food is more expensive, and do you think that is fair?
It's more expensive.
Yeah.
I don't think that's completely fair. I think Melbourne, especially, I don't know what it's like where you guys are from. We've got huge multicultural different types of foods all over, and some of the cheapest eats you can actually have are definitely Asian cuisine, and then even where you went for Greek food, that's quite cheap, I think, and quite homely and raw and rustic, I guess. So with all of those, we're quite lucky that we can get actually quite cheap, and more so the opposite of what you say. Maybe not so much with us, but we're a bit more refined, being that we're one hat. So with us here and our other restaurant, Coda, we're a little bit more expensive in that regard, but that also comes with wine and cocktails and things like that. But for actual down-to-earth multicultural food, I think it's inexpensive rather than expensive.
Do you think that the multicultural food being offered in Melbourne is a true representation of the food of its original country, or is it altered to change, like, for the Australian palate?
I think it's altered, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, quite often you'll find, if you go to China, you'll find that it's a lot more salty and a fair bit more sweeter here for the Australian palate. And definitely the produce that they use too. So, quite often with multicultural food they use a lot more offcuts, and the cuts that we don't like will be, or use, say, mutton, an older lamb rather than spring lamb, which we always tend to use here in Australia. So you'll find that, it's more refined for our palate visually as well, so that we read, because people don't want to eat grains. So we'll figure out a way to do it with a different type of cut, but it still have the same effect, essentially.
Do you think that there are a wide range of multicultural restaurants in Melbourne? And do you think there is an opportunity for there to be more?
Definitely. Even with us, it's a really clear example of how we did it different. There was no Indian restaurants of our standard, just more so the lower standard, which I touched on earlier. So I think there's such a greater range. I think Middle Eastern food hasn't been really touched whatsoever, and African food now is becoming a really big thing in the suburbs outside of Melbourne, but it still hasn't even gotten close to getting into the middle of Melbourne.
Do you believe that multicultural dining is a big aspect of Melbourne wildlife?
Definitely. It's only just now that Australian food, or Australiana food, is actually starting to come into play. So we're actually starting to have our own technique of food, which is good. And you'll see it like Shannon Bennett reviewed them on, for instance, where they're starting, or Attica, where they're starting to use wallaby and kangaroo and things like that, which is great. But it's only actually now that we're actually starting to get our own identity, I think, in food also. So we are more multicultural.
Do you believe people would prefer to go to a restaurant specialising in a certain culture, or a restaurant that caters for, like, a large variety of cultures?
Yeah, I think people like to know what they're in for.
Yeah.
When we opened here, we were gonna be like Southeast Asian with the Indian and Sri Lankan and Malayan influence, and it was too confusing.
Yeah.
So we just said Indian, and then it made more sense.
Does Melbourne accept new cultures, or is it based on or is it all based on a selection of new cultures?
It's pretty wide. Like I said, with African and Middle Eastern food coming in now, Australians can be quite conservative at the best of times of what they eat and where they go, and their perception of what food is from certain regions. But I think their willingness to try is always there. And with shows like MasterChef and other kind of food safari, which is a really great one on SBS, people see these beautiful foods from Jordan or wherever, and they actually experiment with them. So, yeah.
Do you think Melbourne is quick to adapt to new cultures in the food industry?
Definitely in food more than other things.
Do you feel that multicultural dining makes, like, a big part of the Melbourne image?
Yes. I think coffee is the biggest influence on that one. The Italians brought coffee to Melbourne a really long time ago, and they're definitely known for being one of the best coffee cities in the world. So that's a great example, I think.
Multicultural restaurants have similar opening hours to normal restaurants, and how do you think this affects people from different cultures? For example, do Spanish restaurants close for siestas?
Maybe good if they were open as late as they are in Spain too, because then we could go out for dinner at about 3 a.m. They do. They probably don't follow the same suit as home. So back, for instance, with Spain, like I just said, sometimes it can work to the detriment of the business. I think with closing hours like Sunday, or because they're a small family-run business, Italians won't open on that certain day, or for instance like that. But they do differ because of that. Yeah, a little bit.
If you were to critic your own business and others, what is one of the main things most multicultural restaurants need to improve on?
Sometimes they try too hard. So when they're not restaurants of when they're trying to do, for instance, one thing I really like what we do here is you can't walk into this restaurant and tell me it's a restaurant. In comparison to, say, an Indian restaurant that you go to back home in the city, a small family-run Indian restaurant. So I think, you try and fit it out to look Indian, look Thai, and it doesn't actually quite work, and it becomes a little bit too tried, too hard. So I think that's where they can probably, just be a little bit more natural in doing so. Unless that's something you're going for, but personally I don't want to go to a restaurant where there's like a shisha to smoke some weird tobacco. I just want to go and have food. I wanted to go actually to the country. I think maybe trying too hard.
Do you believe that there are certain multicultural restaurants all over the city, or do you think they stick to certain pockets where the higher density of the culture is, like Chinatown, for example?
Yeah, definitely. So like I said about the African and cuisine, it's very high in Footscray, which is a western suburb in Melbourne, not too far away, and that's very dense for that at the moment, but it will slowly kind of seep in. And where you work for the Greek restaurant, that's Little Lonsdale Street, which is Little Greece, Lygon Streets, Little Italy. They do spread, but especially with the newer ones, they still stay in their region, where most of the migrants actually live. I think they slowly seep into the CBD.
Do you think that having lots of multicultural restaurants is something Melbourne is known for?
Yes.
Do you think that multicultural food is a good way to attract tourists from the other states or countries? Why or why not?
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And I think just purely based that we are so multicultural has made Melbourne the dining city that it is. And definitely outside of Melbourne and Sydney, a lot of other people come here and they can't believe what we've got. We wish that we had this in Perth, or wish we had this in Gold Coast. But even Sydney, people still come down to Melbourne for that experience. But I think it's because it's older through the multicultural aspect that started a lot longer ago. Yeah, it's definitely an attribute to us.
Are restaurants specialising in a particular culture just about the food or the overall dining experience?
I'd like to have all three.
Yeah.
I think it's good to teach customers in a way about certain foods and food types, but it's essentially you're coming out for dinner and we want to make sure that you have a good time. So the overall experience is the most important.
Do you feel it is important that the customer should feel like they're experiencing the culture of the country the food is representing?
No, I do. I think if you came here and you didn't feel like you got the Indian culture in a way, or you went to Korea and you didn't get your little kick that you expected because, you went to Vietnam, say 3 years ago, and you really felt like having that papaya salad that you tried for the first time, we should give you that. And let me say, we should give you that feel like, this reminds me of when I was in Mumbai and I was walking around the streets and I had this pani puri and never tried anything something like that before, we need to give that to you. But we don't need to give all of that because that's the beauty of travelling, ultimately, or being part of there too. So sometimes it's never going to be as good as their mums if you are, for instance, Indian or Vietnamese. It's never going to be the same. So let's just try and do our best with maybe better produce.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.